How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about and breaking down the markets, taking a look at the S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ, and we're also going to be doing a trading update, talking about what I did in the markets today, as well as a bunch of stocks and a bunch of ETFs that I'm watching and that I'm looking to trade right now in the current environment that we're in the stock market. And as you all read in the title of today's video, I also want to go over my opinions on whether or not the stock market crash is over, whether or not I see more upside, more downside, and kind of how I view that whole "is the stock market crash over" topic. So if you guys enjoy this video, as always, hit that like button for me and consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see further content, and feel free to join our Discord group chat and our Facebook group linked down below in the description box. Those are 100% free of charge. So let's get right into the video. The markets just closed about 5 minutes ago, and the S&P saw yet again a ridiculous rally. Yesterday, we were up a nice amount in the morning, ended up losing that whole entire gain heading into the night, but today, or rather heading into the market close, and today we pretty much rallied, gained that whole loss and some. We gained the whole loss back and some. The S&P ended up closing up $90, up 3.41%. And let me show you guys the very bullish move that we made here in the S&P today. And that was the move above 2730, guys. This is where we actually failed yesterday again in the morning. We fell from there. We tried to test it again, 2730, 2740 at about noon Eastern Standard Time yesterday. We failed again, and the fact that we broke it today, we actually tested it as a new support heading into the close, and we actually rallied above the support there heading into the close. That's a very good sign here for the bulls in the market. Speaking from technical analysis, right? And pulling back on the S&P here, very important, like I mentioned in many videos, to take a look at multiple time frames when doing your analysis. Pulling back here to, let's say, the 4-hour chart, you'll be able to see that now that we broke 2740, there's a huge gap to be filled on the upside for the S&P, and that is up to about 2860, that general area. And based on the data points we have here on the chart, this is a very strong resistance, guys, because taking a look a couple months back in August, in September, the S&P held this level, 2860, 2870, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and kind of here for a 6th time. So the fact that we held it as a support, and again back on, let's say, the 27th of February, that's 7 times we held that level, and now that we're under it, it's a resistance. So for us to, see a rally up to that resistance, we're going to see roughly another 4 to 5% move in the S&P. And honestly, guys, I'm no fortune teller, but I don't think we're going to straight shoot up to 2860. Not that I'm trying to make a prediction. Well, it kind of is in a way a prediction here, but I think that we're going to maybe see a bit of a pull down before we get to 2860, even if we even get to 2860. And honestly, guys, if we do get to 2860, that's going to be an interesting spot, because at that point, that is where this 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart, that is where it should be creeping around, right? 2860. And, if we start to see a break out of that moving average, that's going to be very good for the bulls, to the point that, we may get that V-shaped recovery. And honestly, guys, based on technicals, if we did break 2860 and ultimately that 180 SMA. So that's kind of a main level, a couple main levels that I'm watching on the S&P. Taking a look at the Dow Jones here, up 780 points today, up 3.5% almost. And just like the S&P, guys, we held a very critical support. We bounced above it, and that level is 22,550 on the Dow Jones. We actually pulled down yesterday. We held above it at the close of the market, and the fact that we rallied up from that support to the upside today, that's a good sign that the Dow Jones, it's on its way to, let's say, 24,200. That's the price target based on these resistances I'm seeing on the upside right now for the Dow Jones. And for the NASDAQ, guys, up 2.2% today. Not as good as the S&P and the Dow. Let me just double check that. Yeah, not as good as the S&P and the Dow, but still up 2.2%, up $180 on the day. And the technicals here on the 4-hour chart, on the 20-hour chart, well, mostly on the 20-hour chart, they're looking extremely bullish, right? We pulled down yesterday, held 7,900, 8,000, that general area of support. Now we're rallying back up. So for tomorrow, from a bullish perspective, I'm looking at $8,300. That is a very strong level of resistance, being yesterday's high. And if we break that, there's going to be more upside here from a technical perspective, to the point where, the NASDAQ pulling back to that 4-hour chart, it may be going 8,400, let's see another level here, maybe 8,350. These are some levels that I'm watching on the NASDAQ, right? So overall, that's a brief breakdown of the markets today, kind of some technical spots that I'm watching. And guys, when I'm doing my market analysis throughout the day, I'm mostly focusing on the S&P and SPY, which is an ETF that tracks the S&P, mostly because those represent kind of the U.S. economy, right? The 500 largest publicly traded companies. You can look at the Dow as well, of course, and the NASDAQ. I do too, right? But for the most part, I'm focusing on SPY and the S&P when it comes to just an overall market outlook, to see kind of how the market is doing. So let's talk about what I personally did in the markets today before we go over kind of how I'm viewing this whole "is the stock market crash over" phrase. And what I personally did today, guys, is I rode this market up, right? I rode this market up by playing SPXL. And if you guys were in the chat this morning, again, link down below in the description box. It is free. And you want to know what else is free, guys? You can also get 2 free stocks from Webull, valued up to $1,400 if you use my affiliate link down below in the description box. All you have to do is put in $100, and you get those 2 free stocks. And for me today, guys, SPXL was the way that I rode this market. And if you guys follow my channel, and if you've done any research on leveraged ETFs, you know that SPXL is an ETF that goes up whenever the S&P is going up in price, but it's a 3x leveraged product, right? So it goes up 3 times what the S&P is going up. So if you have a strong conviction that the market's going to go up in the short term, right, because this is a short-term trading product, it's a great product to use. It's a great product to buy into, in my opinion. And, there's a lot of money to be made, but it is for the more, I'd say, intermediate to advanced trader. I wouldn't really recommend beginners messing with this. But anyway, guys, what I personally did today is I bought at $28.85. I noticed how the S&P 500 this morning, if we pull up this daily chart, we can see we were struggling a bit. We opened up 2690. We started to test the lows from yesterday's close, that is, and I saw a pretty strong resistance. If you guys can see it here, roughly at about 2660, 2665, that general area on the S&P. And when we started to break out from there, and especially breaking above the moving averages on this daily chart, that gave me some pretty good conviction to at least consider opening up an SPXL position, as this technical break kind of indicated to me that the bulls are slowly gaining momentum, because if we were to see a break to the downside, let's say we broke 2660, that means the bears were winning that area. That's the bears taking over, and maybe SPXS would have been a better position for me in that scenario. But since we got the breakup, I saw a big opportunity in SPXL, right? So again, I got in at $28.85. It was before 11 a.m., and I ended up rallying, or rather riding this rally all the way up to about $29.50. And looking back, guys, yes, I know I left a lot on the table. This thing rallied up to $31, but for me, if I hit my target in a given day, in any given day, I'm happy with that. And I try not to focus on, leaving, kind of looking back and saying, oh crap, I left money on the table. I try not to focus on that. I always try to lock in profits and then move on to the next trade and not worry about if I left money on the table, because if you do try and worry about that, begin to worry about that, it puts you in a state of mind where you might go back and revenge trade, not even revenge trade, but try and hop back in and make more money, and then all of a sudden it reverses on you and you end up losing money, which eats into the profits you made from the previous trade, and then you're in a whole scrambled mindset to the point where, you're just making bad decision after bad decision, and that, guys, trust me, it does not lead to, the ultimate goal here, which is making profits by trading the stock market, right? So that move, it wasn't anything crazy. My CCL move was still the biggest winner for me of the week, but it was a 2.3% move, and I'm happy with it overall. And in terms of trading, day trading, that's all I ended up doing today, guys. Yesterday I day traded GLD, and I actually kept some shares. I'm still keeping those shares today, as GLD really didn't do much. After hours here, oh wow, actually heading into the close, it did take a dump. But either way, I'm still holding on to my shares that are in the lower 155 range when it comes to my average cost. So I'm down a little bit, but ultimately I believe in gold long term and in the short term to go up in price. That's kind of a speculation I'm making here, and I want exposure to that by swing trading some GLD. And I've mentioned in these videos, guys, the only stock, not even a stock, but the only ETF at this point that I'm willing to swing trade is something like GLD. I'm not too interested in longer term swing trading any stocks at this given moment. That's just me, right? I'm more trying to day trade the volatility, and that's why I'm focusing on something like GLD, because it's kind of detached in a way from the individual stocks because it deals with gold at the end of the day, right? So let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts on the markets again? Any trades that you've made, what I personally did today? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's just briefly talk about, if I can pronounce the words correctly, guys, let's talk about what am I doing about this stock market crash. Do I think this stock market crash is over? And the truth is, guys, you can make theory after theory. Oh, the market's, it's going back to all-time highs. It's going back to hit the lows. We've talked about that on this channel before, right? Kind of my opinion. But the truth is, I think the best thing to do is not to focus on that at all. Don't focus on whether or not the market crash is over or it's not over. Focus on what the charts are giving you. Focus on what the market is giving you in the given moment, and profit off of that, or make strategies based off of what the technicals are giving you and play the technicals that are in front of you. Like, let's say for me, for example, today I played SPXL. I'm overall not the biggest bull in this market. I've said in these videos that I think the market honestly should be going down. Not at this moment, but over the next couple of months, weeks, I think it could see more downside. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to trade something like SPXL, which is a bullish ETF, because I'm seeing these technicals in the morning today. We saw the hold on SPXL at 26.50, which was bullish. We started to see the pop, so I'm going to trade that bullish move regardless of if I'm bearish in the short to medium term in the stock market. So I think the wise thing to do here, guys, is don't get caught up in, is the market crash over, this, that, and the third. Just try and save up as much cash as possible. Try to have dry ammo ready to go. If you love a particular stock out there, go ahead and buy it. No one's stopping you. If you think a company is at a solid price, go ahead and buy it, right? But don't be scared to just trade the trend, what you see here, and kind of just go with what the market is giving you, and just stop focusing on the media and all the craziness they're trying to throw a loop at us. Just trade what the market's doing, and then if we see a massive gap down, if we start to see a massive drop in the markets, and you have that cash, and you see some stocks going to attractive prices, then you can start buying long-term, right? That's kind of what I'm looking to do right now. I'm not doing anything long-term at the moment. Yeah, some Roth IRA stuff, little buy-ins here and there, but I'm not making any massive moves at the moment in terms of long-term investing, but I'm just playing the trend. I'm playing what is in front of me. And kind of another thing regarding this market crash, oh my God, the market crash, is it done or is it not done, is earnings, guys. A lot of companies are starting to report earnings over these next couple of weeks, and it's starting to ramp up. And guys, we're going to see some numbers. Obviously, oh my goodness, I almost slipped. The CV impact. I hope I don't get demonetized because of that, but we'll roll with it. The CV impact, this is not going to be fully in the earnings, but the next earnings, that is where we're going to see a lot of damage, and that's going to be in 2.5-3 months from right now. So that's, some thoughts to, keep in your head, and kind of what I'm thinking of, and kind of what's going through my head right now when it comes to this crash. And let's just get into a bunch of other stocks at this point, kind of what I'm looking for in the rest of this week in the stock market. And as always, I would love to know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. So tomorrow is going to be a very big day for oil. /CL crude oil saw quite a good day today, guys. Up $2.50. Up 10.5%. And tomorrow is the OPEC meeting, which is at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, last time I personally checked. And that is going to be huge, because we're going to see how much, if they come to an agreement, how much production of oil on a day-to-day basis is going to be cut, how much is not going to be cut, what kind of the expectations are there. And when it comes to today's massive spike, I'm reading some notes here off of my notes, and this is directly from an article, I believe it was on CNBC. The surge in CL followed a report from Bloomberg that the oil minister of Algeria said OPEC and its allies, known as OPEC Plus, was discussing a massive cut that could reach 10 million barrels per day. And that's going back to what Trump said. Trump wants 10-15 million barrels per day. And honestly, that's setting the bar kind of high. We've said this before on the channel, and many people have been saying that, to the point where if they come and let's say they do 2 barrels, 3 million barrels per day in terms of production cut, that could be kind of a disappointment, to the point where oil might fall even further. Who knows? That's a speculation, but it could definitely end up happening. So that's kind of the catalyst here that moved up crude oil. But at the end of the day, tomorrow is going to be Judgment Day, guys, when it comes to crude oil, because we're going to know, is there an agreement? Is it going to get pushed back? No agreement, which would be negative. Or are they going to agree to something like 2-3 million barrels per day cut? 5. It's going to be a fun day. So crude oil tomorrow, I'm watching it. USO, I am watching this thing as well, guys. It got halted today. If you were paying attention to the United States Oil Fund, up 5.5%. at the close. And when we saw that massive rally, guys, we went from 498, actually no, like 495 up to about 530 in the matter of literally 1 minute. That was probably some algo trading right there that got, they got in, 35-cent move in the matter of 10 seconds. And, that's how USO reacted. And again, tomorrow it's going to be quite a fun day when it comes to USO and crude oil. And some other ones that I'm looking to trade here, of course, like I traded today, SPXL, SPXS, and by the technicals, SPXL could have more upside tomorrow if we do see futures up in the morning and if we do start to make our way, especially to the 2,800 level on the S&P. But let's say we fail to hold this level. This is very possible, guys. Tomorrow, let's say we break back into, the 27, under the 27, 30, 40 territory on the S&P, SPXS, that could be an interesting move. That could be a short-term day trade, which is obviously the inverse to SPXL, and this goes up whenever the S&P is going down in price. And some other big movers we saw today, Square, yet again, a ridiculous day. This one, guys, has just been crazy. It's up 20% one day. It rallied to 55 yesterday. If you guys saw, we went back to 49 at the end of the market yesterday. It's just these swings are insane. So at this point, especially as the markets, at least in the short term, are green, I'm looking to play any dip on Square, whether it's intraday, maybe not overnight holding. I'm not looking to hold it overnight. I was about to say maybe heading into the close, holding overnight on a dip, but probably not. Mostly intraday, any kind of weakness on Square, I'm looking to play it as the markets in general are strong, because we've seen the markets go weak and Square got absolutely killed, right? If you take a look at this daily, not the daily, the 20-day chart, we were down from 66 to 32 in the matter of 5-6 trading days on Square. So it gets hit hard when the markets are obviously getting hit, but when the markets are recovering, Square seems to do very well. So I'm watching Square. FedEx did very well today as well, ticker symbol FDX, and it seems like overall on this hourly chart, FedEx is turning bullish. We seem like, at least in the short term, it seems like we bottomed at 89. We rallied above moving averages. We tested the moving average support yesterday, and we pushed for a higher high today, higher high in the uptrend. So that is a pretty good sign here in the short term. And on the 2-hour chart, we're breaking moving averages as well, and almost on the 4-hour chart, which I think, guys, short term, if we do break, let's say on FedEx here, let's say we break 130, watch for that move from 130 up to about, what is this, $140. That could be a move I'm watching on FedEx here, heading over these, or rather heading into these next couple of days. And by the way, this Friday, the market is closed. So treat tomorrow as a Friday. Very, very key. And just be aware of that, because the last thing I would want any of my viewers to go through is not knowing the markets close on Friday, buying something on Thursday, trying to offload it on Friday, then they have to hold it until Monday, which anything could happen over those 4 days. So keep that in mind when it comes to trading tomorrow. And let's go over some other ones, guys. On my notes here, we have CCL, which didn't do much, but still, with everything going on in terms of kind of not the hype behind CCL, but these massive investments, a board of director ended up buying 1.25 million shares. A lot of people are saying this could be the bottom, but then again, that's all speculation. I think CCL is just worth watching. Out of the cruise lines, I think it's safe to say, and many people have been saying this as well, that CCL is the safest cruise line stock. It has the most cash, the best balance sheet, and it's pretty much the best equipped when it comes to weathering this storm. So I'm looking at CCL, especially if we could get above this 50 SMA, this moving average on the 4-hour chart. It's being a resistance, big resistance right now on CCL. If we break 12 bucks, you know, 12.50 into 13, there could be a move there from $13 to $15 to $16. I definitely think it's possible. And another stock that's just killing it, guys, is Johnson & Johnson. And this thing is almost all the way back to where it was before the whole CV crisis, right? And that was at $154, and now it's trading at about $144. So keep an eye on J&J. They're, I'd say, one of the safer stocks to own right now in the stock market, as they are a company that's well known to weather storms in previous crisis, scenarios. So definitely keep an eye there on J&J. When it comes to gold, guys, it didn't do much today. It was a quiet day for gold, and I'm cool with that, because if we go on this 5-day, 5-minute, you can see we saw a ridiculous rally on the 6th of April. You know, gold went from 1640 in terms of these futures up to 1740. That's not normal for gold, guys. Normal for gold is like 0.3% move, 0.5% move, 0.2% move, maybe even a 1% move, but a 5% move in a day on gold, that's pretty insane. So we're just seeing a bit of a cool off here in gold. And ultimately, I think if we hold 1680 and we start breaking back above 1700, that is where we're going to see this thing ramp up, gold, to the point where 1740, we're going to test it again, maybe 1800, and even higher, guys. Like I said, I could see gold going to $2,000+, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is, because, like I said earlier, I'm holding GLD right now, which is really directly correlated to the price action of gold. So another one that I'm watching heading into tomorrow is DGAS, guys. Very good day for DGAS today, up 15%. And if you guys don't know, this is an ETN, leveraged ETN that goes up whenever natural gas is going down. And today we saw a pretty big down day for natural gas. At least these May contracts, these May futures, they're down about 3.3%, and we topped at about 192. And ultimately, guys, we saw a break, a technical break here on the hourly chart below this 50 SMA, which I was looking at a DGAS trade at that point, but the truth is, I just didn't take it. I almost did. I almost took it. Looking back, obviously, I wish I took it, because when I was looking at it, it was around, what was it, like 230. You know, if I took that, I would have made money. But either way, I'm looking at it for tomorrow, because if this momentum continues to the upside for DGAS, natural gas, guys, if you remember, it rallied like 40 cents in the matter of a couple of days. So I think there's short-term potential here in DGAS as natural gas cools off a bit. We could see this go up maybe to 250, 270. That's kind of what I'm looking for in tomorrow's session. So overall, if you guys enjoyed this video, as always, hit that like button for me and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. And if you guys want to join our Discord chat, Facebook group, those are linked down below in the description box. And don't forget to get your 2 free stocks. Those are valued up to $1,400 with a deposit of $100 using the affiliate link down below in the description box. And the platform is Webull, guys. Great, great platform. I personally use it for my options trading. It's great, guys. So go down below, get your free money in the description box. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching. As always, peace out.